Okay, since this recorder cuts me off at 10 minutes, there's going to be multiple videos for this because there's a lot that, I kind of need to get out and talk about because I know holding it in just makes it worse. So, to pick up where I left off there real quick, um, my depression issues that don't necessarily go along with my transition. Um, I have a lot of anxiety that I've never really had before. I was never really an anxious person, even when I was going through my depression in high school. I was never really that anxious, never really had much of anxiety, or I guess didn't see it as anxieties. Although to think back, I probably had a little bit. But I have a lot of anxiety now, especially when it comes to finding a job. I have a lot of personal issues. I mean, I know there are guys out there that do it, and I give them all the credit in the world and all the support in the world because personally, I can't, get over that hump to do it. That I have a lot of problems with having to walk into a place and being like, you know what I mean? Even with the fact that passing so well now, it kind of makes things worse. That walking into a place of business after filling out an application with totally female information and then having to walk in there, you know what I mean, looking like a guy, dressed like a guy, acting like a guy. It poses a lot of questions and it makes things awkward right off the bat. And I have a lot of anxiety issues with that. Sorry, I have to move my foot. Foot was falling asleep. And I have a lot of problems in the first place. I've always been a socially awkward person. I'm not one that can walk in and, you know what I mean? I can start up random conversations with strangers easily. However, if it's somebody that I know or that I need to know or that I'm trying to impress, I'm very shy and I stutter and I can't talk and it's horrible. But so I have a lot of issues with trying to find a job. Well, with the part of trying to find a job means if I don't have a job, I don't have money. I've been unemployed for over a year now. I've been living with my friend for over a year now, and it's getting to a point where, I can't live the way I'm living anymore. I mean, I need to find a job or some source of income to be able to, support myself instead of, being completely dependent on other people for money, whether it's doing, odd and end things to make a few bucks or, just, my partner's handing me money. Like, I have friends that'll buy my drinks when I go out. I mean, you feel like crap after a while because, I mean, to some people it could look like I'm using people, but it's not that I'm using people because I don't ask for it. I'm the last person that would ask for money. Believe me, I've learned to live off of $5 for a full month. Don't ask me how. I couldn't even begin to explain it, but money's not really a big thing to me. However, if I do want to get out on my own, if I do want to get my own place, if I do want to get a new car, because my car's been out of commission since June, I mean, I need a job and I need money. But to get that job and money, I have to, be comfortable enough with myself, which poses another issue. So right now, I pretty much feel like, a worthless piece of shit because I have nothing to offer. I mean, I have, a smile from here to here, but that's about it. Like, it sucks when people are paying for you all the time. It sucks when, you wake up in the morning and you still don't even want to look at yourself in the mirror. Like, I can look at my face fine like this. There are days where I can stand in the mirror topless and I'm perfectly fine. But at the same time, there's other days where, like, I look at myself and all I see is hate. And I can't stand, who I am or where I am in my life. And some of it doesn't even have to do with my transition. Like, my dysphoria is a lot better than it was. I mean, it's pretty much still day to day, but I have more good days than bad days, which is always a good thing. But at the same time, I'm having a lot of, issues with where my life is right now. And I mean, it gets to a point where, sorry, it gets to a point where, I mean, I'm 24 years old. I'm relying on everyone around me to pretty much support me. And it makes me feel like shit. And I know I have friends that are trying to, support me less and kind of try to, like, give me that kick in the ass without actually kicking me in the ass, to do what I have to do. And It's like it doesn't help because all it does is, I mean, it just depresses me more because of my anxiety issues. Like there are still times when, I mean, I can't, like, I start to get like anxious and uncomfortable like riding the trolley, I mean, into town. You mean with people looking at me because you still have that thought in your head of people like, do they see you as a guy? You know what I mean? Do they see you as a girl? Do they, and I'm not one to care what people think of me. I really don't. But at the same time, I mean, constantly feeling judged or misunderstood is, it's not a good feeling. And I mean, even though I don't care what people think of me and I don't care, you know, whether they see me as a boy or a girl, like I still don't have problems, going into a place and having people call me ma'am. It doesn't bother me. But when it comes to, you know what I mean, having to find a job or having to deal with, a group of people on a day to day basis, it would be an issue. And I'm not really one for social interaction. So it's like, it's not easy for me to get like a job in retail and be able to, sell stuff and talk to people and deal with people on a daily basis. It's not something I'd be able to do. My other problem is even with the jobs that I had, I mean, with my job history, it doesn't look so good on a resume, in all honesty. I can't even count how many jobs I've had since I turned 18, which is 6 years now. It's a little bit ridiculous. I can tell you the last year that I worked 4 separate jobs. Plus I was on unemployment. I mean, handing my father 5 different W-2s for my taxes is a little bit ridiculous, at least in my eyes. I mean, for me, it's a little bit ridiculous because I should be to a point in my life where, I mean, I can hold a job for more than, a few months. But when it comes to that, it comes down to the problem that my brain works on a higher level than it probably should. I mean, people always tell me that they don't know I'm 24 years old. Like, people think I'm older. I mean, I have the baby face. So some people, know, seeing me, mistaking me for younger, but to actually have a conversation with me, people think I'm older because I had to grow up, I had to grow up at a young age. So I've matured a lot faster than people my age. And it's one of those things that, like, when I go into a job, I don't like dealing with bullshit. I don't like dealing with drama. I don't like dealing with gossip. Like, I don't deal with any of that. And the other thing is like, if I'm not challenged at a job, if it's not something that, I can do without, falling asleep halfway through, waking up and finishing it in 10 minutes, I get bored. And that was a problem I had with a lot of my jobs is, I'd work it for a while and then I'd get bored. Like, you go into work, you do the same damn thing every day, and it's just like, all right, kind of just go through the motions. And it's like, even if I try to like excel in a job, I'm still bored and I see no point to it. And so when I get bored, I start calling off because it's like, why go to work when I'm just going to stand there and be bored? I might as well sit at home and be bored and be comfortable in my own house. And of course, you call off. I've had jobs fire me. I've for too many call offs. I've had, other shit. I've quit jobs. Like, it gets to a point where it's a little bit ridiculous. And I've gotten to a point where I just can't handle it mentally right now to try to do all that. I mean, just the initial interview itself has got me, I mean, scared shitless, in all honesty. And I just need to find something that, I'd be comfortable doing and I'd be okay doing. And I know that, I mean, I was talking to my therapist, and the first, move with this is trying to get my name changed, which I will talk about here in a second because I'm hitting close to my 10-minute limit and this camera's going to cut me off. So I will be back in just a second. Peace.